Hello guys, my name is Adrian Niculescu. I'm an entrepreneur and social media strategist, and I kindly invite you to join my series of inspiring interviews for entrepreneurs at any age. I have as a special guest today Suraj Sodha, who is an internet marketer from London. I've met him at one of Mark Anastasi's seminar back in January 2011. And welcome, Suraj. Tell us something about you.
Thank you, Adrian. It's great to be on the call with you today. Like you said, I'm an internet marketer. I live in London, and I've been doing internet marketing work since about 2008, full time. When I quit my job in the city here in London, my background's in the legal field, so I graduated from university with a law degree. I then went on to qualify as a solicitor here in the UK, and I also did some legal exams in New York. So I was very much going down the corporate route, very academic. But then after maybe 2 years of working in law, yeah, in corporate law in London, I sort of lost the passion for it a little bit, and like I was good at my job, but I wasn't very passionate about it. So I decided to revisit a hobby from a childhood, which was the internet and just building websites and very basic websites, nothing too special. But I started doing that again whilst I was working, just as a hobby on the side. And that's when I came across all affiliate marketing and internet marketing, all the ways to monetize and make money online. And I sort of had a little bit of an idea from when I was a teenager, but I never really followed it up until I was working and after I graduated in my 20s. And then I was able to do that part time quite well. And in 2008, I quit my job and started doing this full time, and the rest is history.
I understand. And if I will ask you now, which is your biggest passion, which will be your answer?
My biggest passion actually is actually just talking to people. I love talking about things that I am interested in and things that I like. So that makes it really easy as an internet marketer because I can blog and use social media and build websites around things that I'm passionate about and build them and work on them as if I'm just talking about them with my friends. So that's the approach I take. So you have to be really passionate about the topic or the niche that you're in. And for me, it's about technology and software and the internet in general. So I use that passion as a niche for myself. And I talk about that in my blogs, about internet marketing and on my Facebook pages, on Twitter and on YouTube videos and interviews like this. So I think it's important, really important to have a passion. For me, it's about just talking to other people about things that I'm interested in. And I think that's sounds really simple, but sometimes it's the most simple concept that works really well. And so many people try to overcomplicate what they're trying to do in business, especially in the internet marketing world, or they try and go into a niche that they're not really passionate about, at least to start off with. I think when you're at the beginning of your internet marketing journey, you really should focus on something you're passionate about, or something you've got a strong hobby in. And once you've figured out the formula, once you've figured out the systems, then later on, I think it's fine to go into niches and areas that you maybe not so passionate about, but you can apply the formula, as it were, into those niches to make money online.
Anyway, it's a matter of systems because,
Yeah,
as in my case, sometimes it took me, I don't know, 1 to 2 years to learn something which I
yeah,
can teach somebody else now in 5 minutes.
yeah.
The
I
same, the
absolutely
same
agree.
thing.
Absolutely agree. Once you've, I think for me, I was practicing with something that I was passionate about, so it made it a little bit more fun, a little bit more easy. Whereas if I was practicing and trying to figure out the system for 1 or 2 years on something that I had no passion for, it would make it very difficult. Maybe it would take double the length of time. So for me, especially if anyone listening to this call is just starting, go for something you're passionate about, and that can be anything at all. It can be sports, it can be car racing, it can be cooking, anything at all. It doesn't matter what the topic is. As long as you're passionate about it, you can figure out the system to make money with that online, and then replicate it in various other niches once you've figured out the way to do it, the systems.
As Tony Robbins say, you have to enjoy the process because
Absolutely.
In many cases, the results they don't come immediately, and
No.
you will do stuff, you will not see the results, and if you don't enjoy the process, you will quit, as I think the majority of people do.
Absolutely, I completely agree.
Yeah. I like to ask you, when did you start your own business, and which was the major drive there?
Well, actually, officially, I started my business in 2008 when I quit my job, but unofficially, I've been doing sort of small businesses and being a bit of an entrepreneur since I was a teenager. I used to buy old magazines from the shop that were out of date. For example, like you get the pop stars magazines and the football magazines and all these sorts of different niche magazines. And I used to buy them from the newsagent with my lunch money on the way to school and go to school, and I used to sell the posters inside. I used to sell the gifts inside to people in the playground at school, and I used to usually double or triple my lunch money. And we're not talking loads of money. We're talking maybe 30, 40 pounds. But when you're like 13, 14 years old, that's a lot of money to have lots of lunch with, and you can buy your computer games and buy whatever you want to buy at that age. So I've been doing that sort of stuff throughout my childhood, throughout my teenage years. But my real business that I do now only started in 2008, officially, if you want. And the biggest drive for me was to be able to work for myself, to be able to put in as much effort as I wanted and me getting the benefit, as opposed to working really hard, working long hours, but for somebody else and making somebody else rich as opposed to myself. So that was the major drive for me, is working for myself, being my own boss. And I don't mind working hard. I don't mind working long hours. But when it's for yourself, it's a lot more satisfying, a lot more rewarding. So that was the major drive for me.
As I've said, this interview is mostly for entrepreneurs, either
Yeah.
at the beginning or who are at a certain stage in their development. I'd like to ask you what kind of struggles, if any, you encountered at the beginning in your business, and how did you conquer them? And another off-topic question: how big was the margin during your teenage business period? Maybe
Um,
the amounts were not big, but I can sense that the margins were okay then.
Margins were very big, because bear in mind I had zero investment. I was only 12, 13 years old, so my mum used to give me my lunch money for my pocket money for school, and I used to use that money to then buy some magazines, buy some sweets, buy some crisps that weren't available in the school canteen, and I used to sell those. So I had zero. In terms of the struggles that I faced or encountered at the beginning, it was quite a few things. First of all, the struggles from myself and internal struggles. I was working in the city at a big law firm with a very, very good salary. I was only maybe 23 years old at the time. So at 23 years old, earning more than all of my friends was a very comfortable life. So taking that risk of leaving my job and suddenly having no income at all from my job, and my internet marketing business was slowly getting there, but by the time I quit my job, it had not completely replaced my income. So the biggest struggle that I encountered in myself was whether or not I had made the right decision. And in your mind, that really it really sort of eats away at you when you keep asking yourself every single day when you wake up, have I done the right thing? Did I make a mistake? Should I go back to my job? What should I tell people if this doesn't work? So those were the kind of things that I really struggled with, and the way I got over those was very, very simple. I got a mentor or a coach. I got a mentor to work with me on these sorts of mindset issues, who had been there himself and had done it already and had built his own business. And that was probably the best decision I ever made at the very start of my business, was to not try and do everything myself. Sure, we talk about outsourcing and outsourcing jobs and stuff like that, but in terms of getting some support, some moral support, some mental support, that's where a mentor came in handy for me. And then later on, as I was scaling up, then I learned about outsourcing and working on your business instead of in your business. But the mental struggles, the mindset struggles were conquered, if you want, with a mentor at the start. And of course, I mean, even now, Adrian, I still get some old friends who don't understand what I do. They still ask me, when are you going back to your job? When are you going to get a real job? And I don't think I ever will have a real job anymore. But there's always those kind of struggles, and I think people around you who don't understand what we do as an entrepreneur will always ask these questions, and I've stopped seeing that as a struggle. I just see it that my friends don't always understand what I do, and there's different personalities. As an entrepreneur, I'm a bit of a risk taker. I like risks, whereas somebody who is not a natural entrepreneur will not like to take risks, and they won't understand why I ever quit my job to do something fun or to do something that I'm passionate about, because they don't believe that way of thinking. They believe that to make money, you have to have a job. Whereas we as entrepreneurs know that that's not necessarily true. I'm not saying anything bad about jobs. It's fine. If you've got a job, great. But for ultimate freedom in your life, being an entrepreneur gives that to you, because you can literally live your life on your own terms. You can earn whatever you want to earn, depending on how hard you're willing to work. So there's always struggles, and I think that the struggles will never stop. But after a bit of time, they become good struggles. So the more struggles you have, I know one of my mentors once said to me that if you keep encountering struggles, that's a good sign, because it's a sign that you're moving forward. If you're standing still, you're never going to have any struggles. But if you're moving forward and you're doing things, that's when you'll be presented with these opportunities to conquer your struggles. So it's a good sign. You have to change your mindset around what's a good struggle and what's a bad struggle.
I understand. And until now, did you try different businesses or business models?
Yeah,
How did
absolutely.
you choose between them?
Um, I using sort of my mentor's advice and just looking at what other people were doing in the market, I sort of modeled a lot of internet marketers who had been doing it for a lot longer than I have and were a lot more successful than I was. And I thought, well, if they can do that, I can do that, or at least I can try. Sometimes it didn't work. There were some business models which I just was not very good at, which is fine, because you have to find something you're good at as well. It's not just about copying somebody else's business model because it works for them. So there's a little bit of trial and error, and ultimately you find something that you're very comfortable with, something that you're very good at, and before you know it, you start building some momentum, and that's when the clients start to come to you, and you start doing really well. And for me, the business models that I'm still very involved in is local business marketing, and doing a bit of consultancy for blog design and why people should be blogging. I don't do any social media workshops or social media training, because I'm not very passionate about teaching that information. So it's better left to somebody else who is very passionate about it. So there's lots of business models that I tried, and some of them didn't work, and some of them did work, and I stuck with the ones that worked very well and that I enjoyed. Like I said, local business marketing, affiliate marketing, blogging, building communities and running events, and that's the sort of stuff that I enjoyed doing. So I started doing more of that.
I understand. You spoke about momentum. I
Mm.
wanted to ask now because many people who heard about the notion quantum leap,
Yep.
they want to know how to create a quantum leap for themselves. For the ones who doesn't know what this word or expression is, basically a quantum leap is when you I don't know, started to when you start to develop, I don't know, the business like a rocket. I don't know how to explain
Mm.
exactly. when you overcome everything. Is you do this, you do that, and there is certain moment when sky is the limit,
Yeah,
something like that.
sure. I think for me, it was when I started to build a team together. When I stopped trying to work by myself, when I stopped trying to do everything myself, and I started building a team, that's when suddenly you notice a very, very big difference in the results that you're getting. Because as a single person doing everything, you can't. It's physically impossible to achieve everything to the quality that you want and to the deadlines that you want. But as soon as you start building a team around you who are equally passionate about what you're doing and want to genuinely help and be part of your team, then suddenly your results will multiply, your productivity will multiply, your confidence will multiply. So for me, the absolute moment was when I started to build a team around me, and that's when I started to get invited to speak at events. So when I started to get bigger clients, because suddenly I stopped working in the business and I started working on the business, which is what every entrepreneur should be doing.
The only resource we all have is we all have in equal shares is the number of hours that guy
Yeah.
has.
Absolutely, and if you look at people like Bill Gates, Richard Branson, even Steve Jobs when he was alive, and all these people, they all have the same 24 hours in the day. They don't have more time than us. They have to sleep, they have to eat, they still have to see their family, they still have to socialize, same as us. Yet they manage to get so much more success, and usually it's because they've built a good team around them. You don't have to go and hire 20,000 people like Apple or Microsoft or anyone like that, or even more. It starts off with one person, with two people. Maybe get together with some friends who are passionate and have a bit of a mastermind group and start working together. So it starts off small, and that's how it all started for me, really.
I understand. And as an idea with the people you work with, which is the system working the best? Like fixed payments, payments on projects, profit sharing,
There's a
just as an
mixture.
idea.
Yeah, for me, there's a mixture. For example, certain people in my team are paid per job, so there's not like a monthly salary or anything. It's a fixed price per job. So as soon as we've got something coming in, they'll start working on that. Other people are based on a like a commission share basis. Other people are on a low base rate and a high commission. So for me, there's a mixture depending on the tasks, depending on the business, depending on the amount of commitment that the person needs, depending on the motivation they need. So I find that when I give people the opportunity to earn on a commission basis, it motivates them to do better, to work harder, because the more hard work they do, or the harder they work, the more they'll earn commission, because there's no cap or limit on the commission. Because if I say to someone, I'm going to pay you £1,000 a month, there's a limit there. And no matter how hard they work, maybe they'll never earn more than £1,000. But if I say you can be on commission only, then the more they do, they can earn four or £5,000 a month without too much problems. So that's the beauty of having a mixture of it. And I think it also depends on your own business, depends on your own skills, depends on your own financial commitments, what you can afford, what you can commit, and you have to see what also your team likes. What does your team prefer? It's about making a win-win situation for everyone.
Great. And knowing that you're very busy, I wanted to ask, in the professional life, how do you cope with the life outside the business, with family and friends?
Again, before I started building a team, it was my social life was non-existent. Um, I was always working. I was always, in my office. I was always doing something work related. As soon as I started building a team, I got less busy because there were other people to do things for me, I started to spend more time with my family, spend more time with my friends, and that is so important. And what you find is yes, we all do business. We all become entrepreneurs to live a better life. And we all do this to spend more time with our family and friends. But in reality, most entrepreneurs spend less time with their family and friends because they're so busy trying to do everything themselves. So you have to always look back and ask yourself, why did you do this? Why did you quit your job? Why did you become an entrepreneur? And usually it's because you wanted to spend more quality time with people around you, like your friends and family. Yet most of us, we don't do that. We miss that completely. And the only way to get that back is to build a team around you. Or for me, that was how I did it anyway. Building a team around me, making sure I didn't have to do everything, so I could spend more time with the people I want.
Yes, this is also good for me. I have to learn how to do it because I'm that tight. Even if I have a team or I have people I work with, I need to be in control, and
Yeah.
sometimes it sucks my whole energy.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Adrian, but there's a difference between having control and being in control. So you can make sure you're overseeing everything in your business, making sure everything is going smoothly, without having to literally have control of what's been happening, and how to do it. You need to trust your team. You need to empower them to make sure everything works. And when you give that confidence and trust into your team, 99% of the time they will always perform well, because they want to feel good about themselves. They want to make you happy because you're the boss. So you have to let go of certain things. And that's difficult. That's a mindset thing, and I was the same. And even now, sometimes with certain things, I feel that I need to have full control. But in reality, really, you don't have to have control. Nothing bad is going to happen. You just have to trust the system, trust your team, and that always works out well.
Yes, good advice also for me and for everybody else. I wanted to ask now if you're focused on developing one business at the moment or a business line, or you develop more than one in the same time?
I start one at a time. So when I have an idea, for example, I will focus my personal energy on that full time, whilst the team are focusing on all the other businesses. So it's again, it's a bit of a hybrid. So I will focus on one, but the team together will focus on more than one. And as soon as I've built up something to an acceptable level to then give over to the team, then I'll start working on a different one. I'll start developing a different one. So for me personally, it's only one at a time, because I think with that focus, you can really do a better job. You can build a better business. You don't get confused or distracted with lots of other ideas. And as entrepreneurs, people listening to this call, and Adrian, you yourself, you will know, as entrepreneurs, we have maybe 10 ideas every day, of loads and loads of
At
ideas
least,
every single
at
day.
least.
Yeah, and to us, every single one of those ideas is a great idea. We always say, wow, that's a brilliant idea. I think I just thought of this on the train or in the car. Wow, that's a brilliant idea. So we need to, because obviously we as entrepreneurs, everything that we think of, we're going to think is a good idea. No one, we're never going to say, well, I think I have a bad idea. No one ever says that. So by sort of focusing on just one of those ideas, you make sure that you research it properly. Make sure that you're not just doing something because it sounds exciting, but actually because there is some commercial success available in that idea. You have your mentors, you have your team around you to ask them ideas. So this is another thing that I see a lot of entrepreneurs don't do, is they build a team around them, but then they don't ask for their help. They don't leverage their team or their expertise or their experience for new ideas. Like my team, I've got people who used to live in America, used to live in Spain, used to live in Australia, who've grown up in the UK here. So I've got lots of people who have got more experience than me in certain markets and certain life experiences. So when I have an idea, I ask somebody, do you think this will work? Do you think this will work? What do you think of this idea? Sometimes they say, yeah, it was good. And sometimes they tell me exactly why it won't work. because they've got more experience in that than I have. So it's about focusing on one at a time for me, and that way I don't get too distracted or too excited with lots of ideas at the same time. I make a note of all the ideas I have, so I always carry a book with me, a notepad, or for those people who prefer iPads or iPhones or BlackBerry, I just make a note on a notes application or something, just to store your ideas. Because if you have so many ideas every day, you'll eventually forget them. So you want to keep them in a safe place, and then every now and then open the book, open the application, and delete the ones that don't seem so good, because at the time they seem like a good idea, but maybe after a few days you revisit them, you look at them, and you see that it's not such a good idea. So focus on one at a time, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can only have one business at a time. If you have a team, you can have multiple businesses.
Yes, this is correct. Um, can you present one of your businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. One of my businesses is called the Rapid Leverage Forum, and it's a community essentially where we're building up, we're bringing together people in internet marketing, in business, entrepreneurs who want to learn more about internet marketing strategies for their business, want to learn more about how to implement certain strategies into their business, but also just want to meet other people. And it's an online service. And we also have offline meetups every now and then if you're in London. But that's an example of something that I love to do. I love to talk about what I'm passionate about. So what is the best way of doing that for myself is to build a community of people who are all interested in the same thing and talk about it with them. And before you know it, that can turn into a very good business. You build your credibility from a business point of view. But for me, I achieve my goal of bringing people together and talking about something that I'm passionate about. So the Rapid Leverage Forum is for everyone to join, and they can go to the link or check that out in their free time. It's a nice community of entrepreneurs, internet marketers to come and share ideas, network with each other, find joint venture partners, find clients, but also learn about things they didn't know before. So there's lots and lots of different benefits of being a member of the community.
I've read some time ago a nice book, Excellence in Business by Jim Collins. I've
Okay.
started three times that book, and only at the fourth struggle, I
Yeah.
finalized it in one day. And I've made a note in my office, and this will be the base for my next question about the companies reaching the excellence level.
Hmm.
Basically, they analyzed in the book big companies from United States. I liked very much the concept. Where is excellence in business? Is
Hmm.
at the crossroad of three circles. One of them is which is your biggest passion. The
Yep.
second is at what you can be the best in the world.
Hmm.
And the third, which is your economic engine, what puts in motion your economic engine, or
Hmm.
which are the parameters which are essential for your business. And my next question is, which is your biggest passion? And which, no, which is the biggest strength? The biggest passion I've asked at the beginning. The biggest
I
strength.
think for me, the biggest strength for me is being able to teach other people what I know in my experience in an easy to understand language without getting too technical, without talking in too much jargon. So that's one of my biggest strengths, and that allows me to run workshops on internet marketing all over the world, Adrian. And that's about again using your strength, using your passion. So my passion is talking about internet marketing. My strength is breaking it down into a way people will understand. So I'm taking my passion and my strength and putting them together. And for me, putting them together equals a workshop, offline workshop, or even a webinar, for example, even a webinar. But mostly I do offline workshops. So that way I'm taking my passion and my strength, putting them together, and that helps me towards achieving excellency in my business. So I love to teach people, and I would like to think that I'm very good at teaching people not only the technical elements of internet marketing, but also breaking that down into a way that anybody can understand.
And when you say that you are the best in the world at something, which is that something?
I think it's making people very comfortable about internet marketing and knowing that they will be being able to make people feel good that they'll be able to do it themselves. I've had hundreds and hundreds of people come to my workshops over the years, and what everyone says is that you really were able to inspire me and be able to make me understand what I need to do next. They've been on so many workshops where they get the theory, they get the ideas, but they don't know how to do the next step. And that's what I believe I'm the best at.
Sometimes you know that this is also a strategy because
Yeah,
knowing next steps, meaning another course, an upsell, or another workshop,
yeah,
another training.
sure,
And
sure.
many customers are left in the dust because of course it's okay also to sell something else, but at least to provide sufficient value for
Absolutely.
people to gain something, to be able to apply something immediately and to get some results,
I
to
agree.
have the drive also to go further with you, another
Yeah,
course, another training, another coaching.
exactly, exactly.
Because also in internet marketing, I saw that there are people providing lots of value to the customers, either through,
Yeah.
I don't know, free channels like social media or email marketing, and some
Hmm.
others doing only sell, 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 sell. Buy
Yeah,
this, buy
exactly.
that, buy this, buy that. Nothing else.
Exactly.
Very simple.
Exactly.
And I don't think that for them probably it works, but on the long term, the competition offering
Yeah.
lots of value, I think that they will be in the first row.
Yeah.
The next question will be the third circle in the excellence equation. Which element or parameter is the core of your economic engine?
Um,
Do you know it?
do you want to rephrase the question slightly?
No, it's which parameter is the core of your economic engine. Can be, I don't know, the number of subscribers or,
Ah, right, right, right. Okay, okay, okay.
sales per person or something else.
Okay, okay,
Should
okay.
be a key element. When you analyze it, you say, okay, my business is safe. Can be profit, can be turnover.
Sure, sure. Well, for me, it's about conversion rates and looking at how many people come to my products and actually buy them. So I guess to the right parameter is sales, and that's what for me tells me how much money we've made. So that's what I monitor. I don't monitor always how many subscribers I've got, how many people. I'd never look at how many people unsubscribed because why waste my energy on someone who has unsubscribed? They're never going to buy from me, so I don't need to waste my energy. I'd rather focus my energy on people who are going to buy from me and are going to recommend my products to other people. So for me, I think the core element for me is sales, and then that's a very simple way of looking at it. But ultimately, sales is what makes you money.
And do you believe in the fact that the money is in the list, especially internet marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. There's more to it than that, Adrian. It's not just have a list, send the mail, and you'll make money. It's not as simple as that. But if you've built a good list of people who are passionate about what you have to say, they like you, they like your product. You've built a relationship with them, then of course they'll buy from you. I send mail outs to my list, and always, every single time, without fail, somebody somewhere will buy something, and usually it's a few people, and that's where they people say, "Wow, the money is in the list," and you can easily make. I sometimes make over £1,000 by sending one email in a week to my list. But I don't just sell and sell and sell and sell. I give value. I build relationships. I give them stuff for free. So there's more to it than just emailing out. But yeah, absolutely agree that the money is in the list, and email is still one of the best ways to communicate with your audience.
Is it better in terms of conversions like, I don't know, Twitter followers, Facebook likes, Facebook friends,
For me, yes, it is.
and for other people you work with?
It's a mixture. Some people focus their efforts on social media, so it works very well for them. I feel I don't sell too much on social media just because it's quite social. Again, it's social media, so I don't go on the hard sell. I just interact with people, engage with people. I don't use social media to sell directly. I use it to sell myself. I use it to sell my personality. I use it to sell my ideas. I use it to connect with people as opposed to always only putting out special offers or anything like that. So for me, email marketing works better, but social media can work very well if you use it correctly.
Yeah. What elements you use more in your personal business development? Is it training, coaching, masterminds, combination of them, or else?
So, sorry, say that again.
What elements do you use in your own personal development as I don't know, a human being or a business person? Is
Sure.
it training, coaching, masterminds? Which
Yeah.
technique is or medium is the best, works best for you?
Definitely mastermind. Being able to be in a group of people who've all got different experience in life, different ideas, different opinions, and sharing those ideas and opinions and experiences together. Having a mentor, like just a one mentor, is brilliant as well. But then you're only having the experience of one person. Being part of a mastermind group is, like Rapid Leverage Forum, where we've got hundreds of people who you should treat like your mastermind group. It's very powerful because everyone's got some ideas that they can help you with, as opposed to just one person. So that's um, my main tool is masterminding.
Anyway, you basically recommend that to have like specialized mentors. I
Yeah,
don't
of
know,
course.
have a mentor for list building, another for, let's say, uh, dealing with your relationships or something like that.
Yeah, because not one mentor can help you with every area of your life. So it is important definitely to have um, more than one mentor, because people will be able to help you in ways that one person can't. So yeah, that's a good point.
I wanted to ask a personal question because one of my when I say business, the first
Hmm.
person coming in my mind is Sir Richard Branson. I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you, what do you think about him and about his approach? Because what I saw, especially in the last years, is that he is at the disposal of many people interested in finding lots of things for him. He's not hiding somewhere, It's
Yeah,
at
absolutely agree.
top
I think.
level, but his approach is extraordinary to, I don't know, in seminars, in
Yeah.
events, online, offline.
I think, yeah, same for me, Adrian. Richard Branson is sort of the first person I think of when I think of being an entrepreneur, having a global business. But I think that the way he does things is amazing because everything. If you read any of his books as well, it talks a lot about having fun. So only doing something if it's going to be fun, exciting. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to have a thrill. And that's a good way of doing things because otherwise there's always a risk of entrepreneurs trying to think of a business to start that is not fun, and ends up being like a job to them and they end up hating their business. And that's not what you want to do. Richard Branson doesn't hate anything he does because everything he does, he introduces lots of fun into it as well. And that's very simple, a very simple concept, but it works very, very well. And that allows him to venture into completely opposite markets, completely different niches. And so, yeah, I love that concept of going into business to have a lot of fun, and not taking it too seriously. Enjoy the process, like you said before.
Yeah. And now, because we approach the end of the interview, I wanted to ask, what recommendations would you make to somebody wanting to start a business now? to be a local or a global one, with products, with services, intangible products. Which is your approach on this?
I think ultimately somebody can start a business or have a business all of those areas. There can be a local one, a global one, with physical products, with services and digital products, intangible products as well. But to start off with, for me personally, the way I like to do things, I like to start off with an intangible product on the internet. So you could call that a global business, I guess, because it's on the internet. But about something that I'm passionate about. So for somebody who is at the very beginning of their journey, just wanting to start out, look for something that you are really passionate about. Any hobby, whether it's skydiving, scuba diving, racing, cooking, sports, anything at all, and find a product or a service that people like to buy in that market. And if you want to go down the affiliate marketing route, for example, you can find products that people are buying and get involved as an affiliate, whether that's a physical product or an intangible product. Alternatively, look at your experience. What experiences have you had in your life? That will help you decide whether to offer a service or a product. For example, like I said earlier, my experience is in the legal world, so offering services. So I was a lot more comfortable starting off by also offering my own services because that's what my experience was in my working life. So you need to look at things and play to your strengths. Don't try and do something that where you're setting yourself up for failure. Set yourself up for success by using your life experiences, using what you've already got within you, as opposed to looking outside to see what other people are doing. If you have experience in selling products and creating products in your job in the past, you've got some experience in that, and that you'll find it easier to do that than suddenly go into services, for example. So you need to look at what your experiences are, what your passion is, and where you feel comfortable working.
Great, great advice. So thank you very much, Suraj, for your time and success with all the ventures. And let's hear only good news about everything.
Thank you, Adrian. It's great talking to you.
Thank you. Bye bye.